here I am. I wanted to put together, you know what I really wanted to do is I wanted to model a chess rook. So here I am, I'm going to do one. I want to delete this. And I'm going to hit spacebar to add cylinder. Because all good rooks are cylinders, I guess. That's not true. You can probably make a rook out of any shape. But I'm going to make mine out of a... I'm going to hit 5 to go into... I like to use... Sometimes when I'm trying to flesh out the dimensions of stuff, I like to hit a 5 on my number pad and go into the orthogonal view of my 3D view. If I hit 5 again, it goes into our perspective view, and you can see how there's perspective on this from the bottom to the top of the cylinder. It's definitely looking at it with angles intact. And then if I hit 5 again, it goes into orthogonal view. It's almost kind of like a CAD drawing, where it doesn't really give you the point of view that you're getting closer or farther away from it. It just kind of shows you the dimension of the object. So I'm going to tab up and I'm going to go through. I want my object origin to be at the bottom of my piece. So I'm going to slide these guys up here and hit S to resize it and bring it all the way down. And I'm thinking that, I'm just looking at my fingers here, I think that maybe a rook that's about 2 inches tall, 4 centimeters, is going to be a good size. I'm going to hit N on the keyboard, and I can see here on my dimensions that this thing's 24 centimeters. And so I'm going to keep shrinking down until it's closer to 4 centimeters. Oops. That looks good, right? And I can, when I tab out, I can see that it's 4 centimeters big, 4 centimeters tall. So now I'm going to hit S to resize and shrink that down every axis. Shift Z will let me shrink it about every axis except the Z axis. So that's starting to look like maybe a chess piece that's sitting on the board. Hit T to open up my toolbar, hit smooth right here. Get rid of the toolbar. And let's start shaping out my rook here. I'm going to put a loop cut in it. And move that up here and go there. I don't have any drawings or anything, I'm just kind of having fun. Sometimes you just don't feel like making anything in particular, but you feel like doing something, so I delete only my faces. I don't like these single surfaces that... Did I get it? Delete only okay, there we go. I don't like these single surfaces under here. I like to have a couple loop cuts in there so I can do stuff if I need to later on. Delete all the faces. So what I usually do is I select all of them, I hit E to extrude and resize it down, then E to extrude and resize again, and then once I've got a loop, I take this second loop in here and I hit Alt M and I combine all those at the center, and I'll do the same thing for the bottom. E to extrude, resize, E to extrude, resize, Alt M at center. And that makes it a little bit easier if I need to like raise something up, or I'm gonna bring that out. I'm gonna resize this. And you know what I want like that. I want it to be sort of like, that's the base, and make that about the same size as that. You know what this needs? I'm gonna come over here to my this little wrench here, and I'm gonna come down here and add the subdivision surface on this. And I like to, not too many of our projects, so I'm just gonna go ahead and bump the view up to 2, and we'll hit render up to 3. And you know what we can do too is we can put a material on this. I'm gonna make it marble chess pieces. So for now, I'm gonna call this marble, and get rid of specularity for now. Maybe we'll make this thing a blue piece. And let's go in here to my texture. We're gonna call this. I'm gonna go with cloud or marble text. Come down here and select marble. You can see we get a nice marble texture there. Now let's take my light, move my camera to a different layer so I can keep track of everything. We're going to put this over here. I'm going to put my light on the second thing. I'm going to put my light over here. I like to do some nice 3-point lighting. So I kill the shadow. Don't need any shadow right now. And I'm going to go to a spotlight, and we'll direct that right at my bring another one over here, bring it down. I'm going to make this side one 3. I usually start out with 3 on the key light, 2 on the side light, and then I like to bring this a little bit further down. And then we'll give it a backlight. Make the backlight 1. Now let's see how we do. Hit F12. Oh, that's ugly. You guys didn't see that, so I'm gonna go to my render thing and I'm gonna say this makes just render. Keep it in the UI, and then I'll take this window here and I'll make this a UV image editor and set that to render image, and you can actually see it now. So what's it? And that is ugly, ugly, ugly. I've never seen anything uglier. Why does it default to that color? Okay, so I'm gonna know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come over to my color, my material, and I'm gonna, I want something a little bit more steely blue, I think. So I'm gonna take that a little less saturated and make it darker. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Control Copy, or while I'm hovering over this color, I'm gonna go over to my texture. I have my marble text done here, and I'm gonna copy my color right in there, and then what I'll do is I'll jump in there and I'll lighten it from that copied color, and then let's hit F5 again. You can see I have like a nice couple different blues in there. Really go into a UV, and I'm gonna, right now it's just using a generated UV map, so I'm gonna tab, and you know what, I wish that I wasn't looking at this thing, that view. So I'm going to head and add some seams to this. Mark seams, and I'm gonna go, oh, you know what I want to do? Mark seams here, and mark seam here, and select all, unwrap, and now I have a nice UV map. And if I hit F5 again, it might give me slightly, I think that'll give me more control over my my color, my textures, if I if I want to play with that later, turn something sideways or whatever. So let's add when these get a little too rounded here, I like to add some more loop cuts and straighten things out a little bit. And this could definitely use I try to keep the shapes of my squares and my mesh to be as close to square as possible without going crazy. Sometimes if you have a long skinny piece, it's okay to have slightly longer skinny squares, faces, but mostly I think you do well to sort of keep them about the same width and height, almost like a ratio of 1. When it comes down to when you start adding these subsurf algorithmic mesh modifiers, they respond a little better when things are close to square, not so rectangular. Oops. Model this out here. Let's bring this in. Bring that in. Starting to kind of look. You know what I might do? I might oops, what's that doing there? Let's delete that vertex and we'll put a new one in there. Oops. Terrible. Okay. Can I grab those? I'm going to put that in edge select. I'm not going to put that in edge select. Oh, there it is. Trying to get that edge. Am I in edge select? Nope. There we go. Got that back into place. Lost that for some reason. So what let's take this, go back to vertex select, and we'll lower this center vertex back down. I'll make the crown a slightly different way here. There we go. How's that? Looking a little Just trying to feel out how I might do this. How's that look? Ugh. You know what we're going to do? We are going to... I'm not liking how these edges look. Oh, you know what happened? I think that when I was fooling around, I might have accidentally created an extra set of vertices. So I'm going to do select all in edit mode. I'm going to go to mesh. I'm going to go to vertices and remove doubles. And up here it shows that I removed 32 doubles, which means that. But I still have that funny weird shape. So let's do mesh normals. Recalculate outside. I didn't really do much. Huh. Uh-oh. Now I did it. I'm not doing it. It won't let me do a loop select anymore. I probably screwed up my topology. So let's take off this modifier. Let's take this thing, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to undo that little mask that doesn't let me see the other vertices. I'm going to select all these. I'm going to recreate this top part by deleting those. Extrude Z to the Z axis. Shrink that down. Let's make sure I add my mark seam. And I'm going to re-unwrap that just in case anything got mixed up. And I have to re-add these edges too. Mark seam, select all, unwrap, and there we go. We got a nice unwrap on that. Alright, let's take a look better. Let's go back to where we were. Playing a little catch up here. Not the finest looking rook I've ever seen. You know, I don't understand why everybody makes chess pieces. I don't even play chess. It's a nice project to start with. Come down here. Anyway, you get the point. Does that look okay? Whoops. That's how you get into trouble. Give that a little brim. And how's that starting to look? Oh, that's kind of look pretty classy. It's kind of ad-libbing it here. Improvisational 3D modeling. There we go. That's not bad. Okay. So could use a little bit of a sleeker base here. Let's see if I can get that a little bit smaller. Select this down, shape it a little bit. Oops, a little bit too much. We're looking good. That looks nice. Nice little. I think I need a loop cut in this area. Oops, what'd I do? I think this ring needs a loop cut in it. Okay, so that's my marble. We're going to call it blue marble because I'll probably come up with another marble later. Blue marble. So now I want to hit. You can see that looks pretty good, but I want to add a little bit of decoration to it. Excuse me. So I'm going to hit spacebar, add cylinder. I'm going to leave it right now. I think I've got a 32 vertices. I don't really care about that. I'm just going to leave that for now. Alt G, R, and S to clear any spacing or rotation out of it, sizing stuff. So I'm going to shrink this right down to this thing. I'm going to resize it about the Z-axis, bring it up a little bit, And I want to make a ring here. And I'm going to select this ring here, delete all those face in the top, face in the bottom. Do that same thing, extrude, resize it. And I don't need to close this. You know what? I'm not going to close it for now because it doesn't matter. It's not going to be visible. And then that one too. We'll make this smooth. And we will add a subsurf on that. And for materials, I want to make this sort of a, I want to make this something like a shiny kind of mirror kind of thing. Like a metal or something, like a brass, or resize that a little bit. Can you tell what that is? Let's go back to this thing. We'll bump this up to, let's see how that looks. It's not bad. I want to make it reflective. And let's duplicate that, bring that up to around here. How's that look? That's starting to look cool. Not bad. Okay. I'm going to size that up on the z-axis a little bit more. So it looks about the same size as that. So I want to, whoops, I want to go to Blender 268 games. I'm going to add a texture to that. And I think I actually have a picture ready to go. I found this cool picture. This is a random picture of a building. Doesn't take much. It just takes something that looks like a realistic photograph. But I'm going to add an image to the reflection coordinates on this. So let's go to my material for, we're going to call it reflective. I'm going to leave it white for now. Go to the textures. We're going to add an image texture. And we'll open up, I have this thing in my text. There we go. And I'm going to come down here and call it, I think that we can go to the reflection. And we'll see what happens when we, there. So I'm going to lower that. Lower the color. And you start to see a little reflection if I get it up around maybe 2/3, 65, 65. There we go. You can kind of see some reflection there. Another way you can, and also another thing you want to do if you're going to make it reflective is you want to click on this mirror thing and add some reflectivity. But we don't really have anything else in the scene, so you're not going to see anything but blue. For now, I'm just going to leave that unclicked so I don't run into any time and space problems. So there's my rook. Kind of reflective bands around like a marble style rook.